Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about slow living. Now, I have been implementing a lot of things that could be considered slow living into my life for the past few years, but just recently, over the past year, I've really thought about that term and really tried to implement more of the slow living things into my life. Now, of course, this can have different reasons. The first of them, obviously, is the situation we are in since 1 year now, approximately. The other thing is I'm getting older, and I think it's a normal thing. I'm not old, but getting older and older to realize that we value our everyday life, that we have beautiful moments, beautiful mundane moments, and not just extraordinary things. And also a big life change for me was that I finished studying, so a huge part of my stress that I had for the past years, since I started school, kind of, has now fallen off my shoulders, has now fallen off my chest, has now been going away. And so I actually do have some time for myself. I actually have kind of the control over my life, and I can build a life that is fulfilling for me. And that is what I want to go into today. Now, I am by no means a slow living expert. It's more that I am searching for my kind of slow lifestyle. I want to live an intentional life. I want to live minimally and sustainably. And I think this slow living term really describes that well. But I also want to add more and more practices into my life, because I think I am not there. I do not have a life where I am as balanced as I would like to be, or as slow as I would like it to be. So let's get started with the things that I realized, with the things that I will try to implement more in the future. So let's dive in. Until recently, I always wanted to have a super exciting life. Slow living, that sounds boring. I do want to have an exciting life. I want to experience things. I want things to change. I want to be occupied with something all the time. And slow living just sounded like doing the same thing every day, appreciating your chores. That doesn't sound exciting at all. But now I realize more and more that the things I remember most vividly, the memories, the good memories I have, are oftentimes not exciting things, and even not always extraordinary things, but a lot of times it's a few moments of stillness. I remember the moments where I took walks with my son a year ago, when the sun was setting and a very small moon was in the sky, and it was this light blue spring evening, birds were chirping. I remember these moments because I just was there and did nothing. And I want to have more of these. And of course, I do not just want to do nothing for the rest of my life. And it's not the goal to do more of nothing, but it's the goal to slow down, to appreciate moments, to appreciate things I do, to actually get clear on if the things I'm doing every day do add value to my life. And so I do have to say, I do live a minimalist and sustainable lifestyle. If you know my channel well, you also know that I make a lot of videos about minimalism and decluttering all the things, physically, mentally, habits, digitally, everything that does not add value to our lives. I am a strong believer of focusing on the important things, focusing on the things that you want to do that bring you towards your future, and letting go things that do not add value, that do not help you in your life, and that are distracting from the things that you actually want to do. Also, one of my very, very big values is sustainability. So I try to approach my wardrobe with a slow fashion principle. I try to buy secondhand, not change up too many things. And so this slow living really plays hand in hand with the things that I'm already doing, I think. Also this year, I started a low buy, which further emphasizes this philosophy of just slowing down. With my low buy, I allow myself to buy one thing per month. And I also want to slow down the things that come into my life when I don't buy them, that come into my life for free, or that come into my life in my household and things like that. So The things I'm buying, I'm limiting myself to one thing per month, and all the other things, I just want to slow down without like a number goal. I'll link you the video up here where I talk about my rules and what I want to do for this low by 2021. And so this is one of the things that I've started to implement, like one of the things outside of just what I do, what I've done for many years. And I am still very much searching for how I want to implement slow living into my life. But now I want to dive a bit deeper into the things that and the practices I want to invite even more in trying to live a slower life, in trying to implement more of these slow living things into my life, because I think it will be very beneficial for me and maybe for you as well. So leave any other suggestions you might have in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to reading them, seeing if there are any additional things I want to implement into my life. And of course, all the other people watching will be thankful as well if there are a few additional tips on how to invite a slower pace into your life. I do want to do the thing that I mentioned in the beginning, which is doing nothing more often, like meditating or just sitting there and taking a breath, like just 10 seconds, 1 minute of not doing anything, of not grabbing the phone, of not like occupying my mind with the to-do list I have or things like that. Just doing nothing, because I think these moments are key when it comes to realizing what's actually happening in my mind, the things that maybe I haven't allowed myself to think about enough and things like that. So that is one of the things that I want to do more, just do nothing. Another thing that I have been doing for the past year more and more, and of course it goes like it ebbs and flows, so sometimes I do it more often, sometimes I do it less often, is going for walks. Going for walks was always something I liked to do. Like when I was 16, I would go for walks. When my son was very little, I would go for walks for him to fall asleep or just for him to do something in the afternoon. And now, since like a year ago, we have been going on more and more walks just to get out of the house without meeting other people. And it is something that really brings me so much value. Like I can recharge by going on walks, because I've just discovered that we have actually a bit of nature around here, even though I'm living in a city. And so it's beautiful to hear like the birds and walk through a forest and see just a bit of nature and calming down while like not stressing to get from A to B, but to just like walk, just for walking itself and for talking and thinking and things like that. So I want to go on more walks, or let's just say I want to continue that habit of going on walks, because it's really beneficial, I think, and it's also good for my health, moving my body, because staying at home, working from home, I actually don't do that much like sports, and so I'm glad that I can go on walks and move my body a bit more. And it's very it's something I enjoy doing. It's something that does really help with that slow living mindset and feeling, and I think it's just a beautiful and good thing to do. Another things I really want to get more into again is reading books. Now, of course, reading books is also a way of consuming, because you're consuming something somebody else offers, but it's a lot more active than just watching TV or something like that. And I think books are so much slower. Like you get to read a story for, I don't know, 10 or 20 hours, maybe 30 hours. And if you watch a YouTube video, which is my other kind of consuming, which I do most, which I love a lot, and also maybe Instagram, it's a lot shorter, it's a lot fast paced. You have to decide what you want to watch next every 10 to 20 minutes. You have to make so many decisions. You have to dig through a mountain of content where you are not sure if it will serve you or not, and sometimes it's not beneficial. So I really enjoy reading because it's so much slower. I can really have my own thoughts. I can have my own imagination. I can reread parts. I don't have to make a decision for the next 30 hours of consuming this media, because I can just pick it up where I left reading last time. So I'm really looking forward into reading more. And since I'm doing a low buy, that means I cannot buy new books. So I will look into library memberships. My son actually has a library membership, and maybe I can borrow books with his, or I get my own library membership. And I think they also have ebooks. So that is one thing I want to do for the future, to just get into reading more again, because I think it's such a beautiful thing. It gives me so much and I enjoy it. But I do not want to miss watching YouTube videos, so I will of course continue doing that. Another very important thing, I think, is sleeping enough. Now that thing is very difficult, because I totally understand. A lot of us do not have the possibility, because we have small kids, because we have a job where we have to get up very early, because we have different schedules than our friends. So we do have to stay up late to connect with friends, but rise early because of our jobs. Out of different reasons, we cannot all have the luxury of sleeping as much as we want. And my son is already 7 years old, but still, he does not like me sleeping in. I do have to work. I do have to do things around here. So of course, I cannot just sleep whenever I want for how long I want. And I also don't know if that would be very healthy, but I do value enough sleep. So I do try to get at least 7 hours of sleep each night. And I try to have a few days a week where I actually can sleep as much as I need to. And that is a luxury. That is like a privileged position I'm in here. So now I try to allow myself to sleep enough and not feel guilty, because that's a huge thing for me, feeling guilty as soon as I sleep in. Thinking oh, I should be awake, I should be doing things, why am I still in bed? But sometimes, if it's possible, maybe it's good to just allow myself to sleep. And minimalism and sustainability are also two things that I have implemented a long time ago, but it's still a journey, of course, for both of these things. So I think they have a lot to do with intentional, slow living as well. Minimalism in the sense of just slowing down consumption, being much more intentional when it comes to consuming new things, when it comes to bringing new things into our homes, when it comes to choosing the things we want to buy, choosing quality over quantity, choosing to wait for a bit and not just buy something as soon as it pops in our mind that we maybe need it. And sustainability in the same kind of way, that I just choose sustainable products over any product, that I wait, that I buy secondhand, that I do not buy at all if it's not necessary. And all of these things that just slow down the circulation of stuff, that slow down the consumption, that slow down the impact I have on this planet. I choose to do these things, and it makes me feel a lot better. And of course, it's not the whole solution. I cannot save the world just by consuming a bit less, but it's part of the solution. And I think it's an important part for all of us to do as much as we can to not burn out again. I think that's a real thing as well. So I believe in being gentle with myself, trying to do as much as possible, pushing myself a little bit, but also not overwhelm myself at the same time. What I want to do more, and I'm already doing a lot of, is making things myself. I bake my own bread, I knit my own socks, I do a lot of things around the house, I upcycle, I DIY things that we need. So I do a lot of things myself already, but I think it's a wonderful thing because you can spend time doing something that is highly valuable, because it's something you need and you can make it yourself. And I am absolutely willing to trade some of my time and maybe save some money, or maybe even not. All of us have 24 hours, and if I have enough time, I want to spend my time doing something meaningful. And I think baking my own bread or doing things like that is very meaningful, at least in my life and for myself. Another thing that I really try to do is figuring out a good work-life balance. Now, since I graduated studying social work, I haven't applied for a job in social work, but I've just been a full-time video creator. Now, in the beginning of the year, there's not that much AdSense money to be made, and I'll link you the video up here where I share all of my income and expenses from November and December. But right now it's a bit difficult, so I'm very much unsure if I want to apply for a social work job just to make enough money actually. But on the other hand, I really enjoy working for myself. I really enjoy being able to make my own schedule and just balancing work and life in a more intentional way. And it's beautiful. Of course, again, that's a very privileged position I'm in here, and I would love to be able to do that in the long run and to do that long term, and just figuring out a balance that works for me. Now, the problem I'm facing right now is what I never had before, which is actually that I love working so much that I sometimes feel like I'm working too much. I don't take weekends off. I work until late at night sometimes, of course with breaks, because I have my son here at home because he cannot go to school at the moment. And of course, I don't like work from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., but I work all the time. Like, I never really have breaks. And being self-employed, that is the reality for many people. But of course, I want to figure out a healthy routine. And so I want to find more balance. And I want to, make a routine for myself that is actually sustainable in the long run. And so that's something I'm trying to do as well, figuring out how much I have to work, how much I want to work, how much is sustainable and feels good. And I'm so happy that I like my job that I have with this YouTube channel, because that makes it easy to feel good while working. But again, I also realize that if I work too much, it's exhausting. It's like I lose my creativity and I don't have time for other things. And so these were the things that I will try to implement more, and I'm already doing. And again, I would really like to hear from you what you are doing to implement like a slower life pace, to make sure that you live your life intentionally. And let me know. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, which really will help with the algorithm, which makes it easier for me to find that balance, obviously. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos, I link you a video and a playlist right here that you can watch right now if you want to watch more videos, and I also hope to see you next time. Bye!